Yes, I think there's quite a lot of communication that needs to happen before and during the whole process. I think we should never presume that the grandparents are going to step in. It is asking a lot of them. You know, they're a bit older than they were when they had children the first time round. So I think it's just having that conversation to see if they would be interested in doing it, kind of working out the terms together, not just presuming they're going to do, 5 days a week, and off they go. And then just, we once we agreed that it would be 1 day a week, we agreed on the day. We just put a lot of boundaries in place and guidelines because, it was 30, 40 years ago that my parents had last done this. So although they knew how to bring up children, a lot of things have changed since then. So it was kind of, this is what is expected now, this is what the advice is, this is what the guidelines are, and just kind of sharing that with them, but equally understanding they do know how to hold babies, how to change babies, and just generally A to B. And then I think there was a lot of just guidelines about where they would be with the children all day, how that would work. At the time, my husband and I weren't working from home. We were going off to an office all day. So they were in our house. And I think at first it was kind of like, well, what should they be doing in our house? I didn't really feel comfortable with them doing things like laundry and, emptying and filling the dishwasher. I was like, just don't worry about that. Just leave that. You just look after the kids. So it was just kind of things like that, housekeeping, what they should and shouldn't be doing in our house. Obviously helping themselves to tea and coffee and food and things, but my dad loves doing DIY, and it was like, you don't have to bring your tools, Dad, like don't worry about fixing things all the time. And then I suppose some of the other ground was, we had a bit of an issue with that. A couple of mornings they let themselves in when we were still obviously getting ready for work, and we had to say, look, actually, when we're still in, just knock on the door, don't just come in, because we might be getting ready and we don't really want you just kind of coming in the house with us not knowing. But then once we kind of had that in place, then it worked out fine. And actually, I mentioned communication is key. Understanding kind of what they want from us, what we want from them. My parents were very keen that we made the decisions on the children. They were very keen to follow what we had decided, whether or not it was something that they agreed with. And then they only made suggestions if something wasn't working or if things had changed and things had moved on. But it's so important to keep that communication going, because they're doing you a huge favour. And as much as they love looking after the grandchildren, it is a big favour. So keep that communication positive, keep it going so that you can give feedback if you need to in a nice way.